Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Sagittarius June 2024 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel St. James, clairvoyant. Well, we have a very interesting deck this month. Do you know it was very generously provided to me given to me about 4 or 5 years ago, I suppose. And do you know, I never touched it until about 6 months ago, and it was almost as if your planet of Jupiter had come to me and said, look, there is a lot of philosophy for you to see in here. There's a lot of learning. There's a lot of spirituality. There's a lot of forward motion and an energy of success, winning, and luck to be brought down through these. And that, of course, makes it particularly good for you, I would imagine. Now, of course, over the course of the last month, I've done a number of one-on-one clairvoyant readings with people from different parts of the world over FaceTime and Skype. I don't really use any tarot in those. It's the gift of clairvoyance which is used. And if you might be interested to see what might be involved in that, just check out the information that's in the description at the end of the video. Now, also over the course of the last month, what I have done is charge for clairvoyant readings, but what I do not charge for is the spiritual gift of healing. Now, healing was provided to me at birth, along with clairvoyance, on the basis that I get nothing in return for it. I use it, but can't get rewarded for it. That is to say, I am the fiber optic cable, if you like, between being itself and, well, maybe you. And as a result, the healing comes through me and not from me, as you would understand that, of course. But it does work. And 40 years or more of doing it has demonstrated to me how, I don't know, why, I don't know. All I do know is that my soul has told me it is my contract here to provide it. And so I want to make sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do with my soul here on this plane, because I'm not going to be here forever. And I don't know if I want to come back. So we are going to take 5 cards now. Great to see the subscribers. Love seeing you each month. Thank you for inviting me into your home or into your workplace, as the case may be. We're going to take 5 cards, aren't we? Because that's all you and I need when we pull these cards, because we don't just spend 5 seconds on a card, do we? Oh, no! They have a lot to talk to with us, and we get to benefit from what they have to say, don't we? So, show me the magic. The Tower. The 8 of Pentacles. This is the 3 of Pentacles. Gee, I'm glad those two have come through together like that. We'll see what's there in a second. The Knight of Pentacles. It's going to be a very successful month for you. Let's have a look. The 10 of Wands, diagonally opposite the Tower. Well, you and I'll bring the camera around, shall I? You and I can then have a good close look at the imagery that's on these cards, while the energy speaks to us both, and I'll do the reading for you. Okay, you overcome stress and aggravation, put your ideas together, work towards them, towards success and abundance. I want to start with this. We're just talking about some aggravation that's going on or has just finished in your life. Let's have a look here at the painting. What does this have to tell me? Well, first of all, there's a woman here who's got roots, and they are uprooted from the land, and she seems to be entwined with a skeleton. But look here, these sticks, These wands that she is holding are starting to bud, and they'll turn into blooms. This skeleton here has, for me anyway, an association with Saturn, and which is about time and about bringing you back on path. And it is, astrologically, this energy here is that of Saturn ruling the third decan of your sign Sagittarius, the 13th to the 22nd of December. Now you know that you want to expand and express your optimism and also your spiritual side. You of everybody are able to find a good mix between materialism and spirituality. In fact, in a sense, you can see the face of God everywhere. Even if you can't make out its features, you have a good balanced approach to life and spirituality. Saturn is about bringing tests to you. The point is, though, with Sagittarius, you are blessed. Now, in your ninth house, well, the ninth house where Sagittarius resides, quite apart from its predictive self, its spiritual underpinning in the ninth is that you reside in the house of God spiritually, and you have the planet of Jupiter, the great consolidator of manifestation, the bringer of good luck, good fortune, and expansion as your governor. And you live your life in that way. And then sometimes Saturn comes in, and it comes in very often when you least expect it, and there's no negotiating with Saturn. It comes in and brings a crystallization of the physical sheath around you, which can cause stress and aggravation and get you to move back towards your soul path. Now, Saturn doesn't tell you what it's going to do when it comes into you. You've got to work that out for yourself after things have happened. But here I see that there is probably some repressed feelings, or a feeling that your energy is being held back. Maybe a feeling that you've just overburdened yourself by taking on too much, and you're feeling the pressure, or you feel that you don't have any control over circumstances. It may well be that you are a victim of your own success. This is the process that Saturn is bringing into your life, because as you try to advance, you feel like you are maybe taking one step forward and two steps backwards. There is a sense here of you being held back. Well, what you need to do is to recognize any oppressive or non-productive habits or activities or people or patterns in your life, and it's about shifting them and transforming them into new insights and empowerment. And we'll see what else is happening in just a second. But when you do this, when you reclaim yourself, your life force is balanced, and you then expand into a world of optimism. Now, in my humble opinion, you are the most courageous of the signs, and probably the most adaptable, I think. And you're able to take on things and bounce back. Do you know that you are the only sign whose symbol has a weapon in it, being that of the arrow? Well, this period here, I think, is a time for you to recognize and address those things which now you are outgrowing. And with Saturn here, it can bring the heavy burdens of life. But what it is doing, because Saturn is not a bad planet, it is also pushing you towards the path which is going to bring the opportunity to connect with your soul self and find your life's true path to freedom in any area. And a sense of freedom and liberation is going to come about you. Now, you know that you are the driver of your physical body, and what happens to you on this earth plane all the time is unpredictable, isn't it? The only thing that is predictable is that things change, things happen. But you came here saying, throw up the challenges, and you've had plenty, haven't you? Throw up the challenges because it is my task to overcome them and to keep the faith, to hold my head up high and advance forward, learning from the experience itself. And I think this is a time now when your heart, mind, and spirit are going to come into alignment, and they're going to be balancing your daily activities, and you will get through any challenges that are sitting in front of you successfully. So listen to yourself. Do you know this wands suit that we're looking at here? It is a really fiery suit that sits well with you, of course. And the number 10 represents completion and new beginnings. The mission of this energy here in combination with Saturn is to, in some respect, and I say this respectfully, to stop the sabotaging, the self-sabotaging and defeating patterns and transform those shadow aspects of yourself so that you regain your power and move to the next stage of growth. Now, whether you are consciously repressing yourself or not, understand that there's a lot more that you want to express, isn't there? You want to experience things. You want to enjoy and celebrate. That's why you're here. That's why you've been given the talents that you have. Now, maybe there are some things that you've always wanted to say to certain people. What are they, and who are those people? And you can, for the time being, express those things right now. Say this always to yourself, because for you it is absolutely true, and it is your mission in life. Say, I have the right to follow my own feelings and life impulses. Well, I want to go to the other side of that diagonal and have a look at this, because I think this might be relevant to it. Let me just see what's coming up while I look at the picture. And this is the tower, of course. Now, you might see the tower in the background. It's a grey-black object that's there, and this lightning bolt is coming down through it, splitting that tower all the way from top to bottom. These red things that are coming up, they almost look like muscle tissue, don't they? Which shows the complete splitting aside of everything that's inside of you. This woman's head is split. Looks like three things have been affected by it. This woman, clearly. There's like some flowers there that have, and there's a couple of people falling off down there in the usual sort of fashion of the tower. Well, this is saying that the planet Mars is coming in here, and coming in here like the cavalry for you to follow on from that 10 of Wands. Because Mars is the planet, and Mars is very friendly with Jupiter, your ruler. So Mars is a very good planet for you in Sagittarius, and it's speaking of you're going through an inner transformation, and in particular of healing. This is the best healing energy in Tarot, I think. And I do think you're getting rid of the old to make way for the new. There's maybe a spiritual renewal and self-knowledge, because one thing that is sure about you is that you do learn from events and you adapt, and this is a process of you adapting. And as a result of that, you get a sense of release and this breaking down of old forms or patterns. And now there is a calm after the storm, there is a rest after the stress and aggravation. Now, this energy here does, of course, allow you to block through blockages that have been holding you back and pushing down obstacles. And it's allowing you space for new beginnings to sprout, just as we saw with these things coming through here. Now, just as a forest fire burns away the dense tangle of vegetation and undergrowth, in order to lay the ground bare for new shoots to emerge, also this energy here is purging a situation or an issue so that you can get respite and grow from it. Of course, how you react to what could be quite dramatic changes is important in allowing the renewal to really happen, to grow and to bud and to bloom, and the experience will be fine in that case. Understand the experience that you're going through now. It's kind of like birth pains towards new and wonderful beginnings. Now, knowing that every ending has a new beginning, of course, allows you to not fear the natural processes of change, but to gain self-knowledge and enlightenment experience. You are so intelligent. And you're also feeling release now, knowing that you've finally been forced by Saturn to renew your life and to reclaim your freedom from something that has been holding you back. Now, there can be a crucial process of healing. Sometimes healing can have some residual pain associated with it, just as infections, when they are cured, there is a moment of pain, or when a disease is eliminated. I think this change here, and because it's healing, it can also apply to physical health. I think your physical health is going to get better. There's emotional healing here, or even just the freeing of you so you can experience a greater happiness. And that could be seen in a new relationship or a new home or a new job. And I think old dogmatic ways of looking at things are going to be pushed aside. So you are, as a result of this process here with these two cards, finding yourself in the middle of or about to just enter into an extremely intensive transformative process. But don't be worried at all about it, because whatever you feel is destroyed or even shaken within you is going to purify you and make room for something new. Now, you can, because you do, ready yourself often to look at life with new eyes, and this is a time to do this. And say this to yourself, though. Remember, this is a time when you should be relying on that great Sagittarian optimism and self-esteem. Who I think I am is a belief to be undone. I also have the ability to heal and restore myself at all times. I am not inside my body. My body is inside of me. And as you know, you are born under a lucky star, and say this to yourself, that everything that happens in my life is always for the best. And you do start pushing forward once again, as you always do. You are indestructible. You really are. You are so lucky. You've got so much of a lucky break compared to other zodiac signs, I think. Here's the 8. Okay, well, I have this is about decision, the 8. It also has a mystical association with Mercury for me. Now, here is a woman in red. Now, that speaks of sensuality and sexuality. Do you know if women wear red, they actually come across as being more attractive to men? This woman was sitting down here with one of those things that you used in geometry with those compass, to draw circles and things and angles. And I'd say that she's drawing up a circle like this to put a pentagram in here, which is about protection, while she's embroidering something to do with a face. But she's quite patient in what she's doing there, isn't she? So there's Mercury around. Is there anything else around that? There is. It's the Sun, ruling the first decan of Virgo. Now, Mercury is in the number 8. That's great, because Mercury is the ruler of Virgo, and it is also exalted in Virgo. So you'll have great ability to communicate. You'll also have great ability to plan and to take care. You might think this is unusual, but to take care of details for you. But what you need to understand also is that sometimes there is a strength in just doing nothing at all, to sow the seeds of things, to just think about how to do things and then sit back and wait for the inspiration as to how to go about it, because you may well be quite cautious at this time and taking some calculated risks, maybe being quite careful with money. And as you do, you're always on the lookout for things that improve your mind. But you're going to have a great degree of interest in things to do with beauty, involving detail and structure, probably hair, makeup, fashion, that sort of stuff. This is in a sense of a period when you're not overextending yourself or underextending yourself. You know, you should always do what you like and work at something that you enjoy doing. Because the key to understanding this energy is finding your life's work, and how understanding that your creations are really like small threads that are interwoven into not just this thing here, but into this universal tapestry that's going on here. Now, when you do that, you'll find true gratification in yourself and also in your creations. I think there's a time when you're going to have some focus, discipline. You might be researching things. It's time of great commitment for you, and working from a place of imagination. These are all aspects of this energy which is here now. This energy here is representing, I think, a time when you really do become absorbed in a project or in something that you want to do in work or in relationship or in life. And so what you should do is find a private space to just think about that and explore what's necessary to make this thing happen so that you can expand your talents. This is a time when you can bring about, give birth to, as we were talking earlier, the birth pains, give birth to really original things. And you realize, of course, that everything is connected, and every effect, every action comes from or gives rise to something on the larger whole. And that's going to become a truth, I think, that you are going to come to live by. So you need time and patience to develop something. Don't rush it, as it might well be a long-term thing. Just relax and let things happen. But you are on the right direction, because this is an encouragement for you to keep doing what you're doing, because eventually it will lead to success. Now, it may not be apparent to you, but events that are unfolding around you are going to lead you to your destination. Do you know that which is coming into flower in you now? It is of exquisite beauty and delicacy. So provide for it the protection and nourishment it needs. You don't have to force anything. Let it come from above, because everything is going to unfold at the proper time. Say this to yourself: I am intelligent. I do deserve. So I relax and trust life. Now, there was another there's a line, there's a diagonal of pentacles. We'll go to this one here now, because it seems to me to be calling out for it, because it's speaking of this. And, well, let's look at the picture at the moment. You see, here there are, well, two women as it turns out, but it could be just, this is a symbol for unification of things and of dealing with, through communication and work with other people in a balanced and fruitful way, because they're both holding this jug together. And this moon, which is inside of it, it's waxing, so things are growing for you. These butterfly wings here are taking you off to new heights, and there are these pentagrams here showing you have potential, and this water here is telling me that you have spiritual balance and emotional satisfaction as well. Now, the astrology here is that of Mars again, I think. Mars, which is that great friend of yours, as I said, this time in the second decan of Capricorn, which is the 3rd to the 12th of March. Look, Mars's energy here is bringing assertion and life force to you, vitality. And Capricorn is bringing you ambition, but practicality. So these things that you are thinking of here, you're getting the ideas, and now what you're doing is that you're working out how actually I go about putting them into the world. What is the program? What is the process by which I go through to make these things happen? Now, Mars is also exalted in Capricorn, you might know. So this is a really, really constructive set of astrological energies coming through here. And you know that I think that astrology is all underpinned by spirituality. Now, I'll also say this, that Capricorn's materialism, well, it's really benefiting from the activity of Mars, which is exalted in it. So this energy here is telling me that when you invest time and effort in work, however broadly you want to define that, things are going to turn out really well for you. But there's also gradual progress here. It's also speaking to remember that you have a duty to yourself, but also high self-confidence. There may well be a new set of responsibilities that you take on. You're going to enjoy what you're doing, and you'll be doing a good job. Things are going to be very productive for you. There may well be teamwork involved, because I'm looking at these people here, or consulting with others, or getting advice or outside help from people. Now, I think what you find here is that when you really use all of your energies in a situation that you feel you need to deal with something, which you do have now, it's going to work out well. And you are willing to undertake at this time, I think, what might appear to be even difficult tasks. Do you know how to eat an elephant, of course? It's one bite at a time. But there's an obligation within you, a sense of obligation to do things, to make things happen. And this sense of obligation comes from within you. There's a clarity here. The heavens are opening up, and the clouds of uncertainty are moving away. There will be a reward for your hard work and dedication, great outcomes for career and projects here and practical matters in general. But there is a situation that's demanding your readiness and work. Engage yourself totally with it. What areas do you still hold yourself back, you of all people? And really, in what areas could you be giving more of yourself and your energies? And say this to yourself: I am now ready to receive everything and to give back in thanks. And finally, and just to do it very quickly, because I'm aware of your time, what energy is coming up from here? Well, there's nothing all that remarkable about it other than he has knowledge, he has the protection of the universe, and he's in a position ready to move forward and take action. Well, you are going to be very energetic. You will be a capable manager. You will be slow to anger, but watch out if someone does annoy you. This could also refer to somebody else, of course, and another person you might think is a bit dull, and that could be a person that's really skeptical of spirituality, you know. But again, I'm getting this energy here of an interest in design, architecture, which could well be just to do with beautifying your home, your garden, looking after yourself, how you look to the world at large. This is a process now of blooming and pollination for you. It's a time when you are taking responsibility for your life and are being focused on material things, that is, on practical stuff that has things to do with how you are getting by in the world. Now, if it's somebody else, they could appear to be a bit insensitive and lack emotional warmth, I think. But this is a time in your life when you are goal-oriented and want to sort out that material side of your life, like health, career, those things that are tangible to you.
Find a physical creative activity in which you find joy and say to yourself, I am finding the work that fulfills me. You did a great job.
Well, I said that was an interesting deck, didn't I? And didn't you find it so? I think that this artwork on here is pretty good. Or, I think it's pretty good. I don't say that about a lot of tarot decks, but I enjoyed this and it certainly spoke to me, and I'm sure it spoke to you as well. Anyway, unless I see you privately for a reading or for healing, then I'll see you again here in a month's time, next month. So, until I do see you again, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. Until then, it's bye for now.